Project Alliance is a community done thing where a whole bunch of people in Tinky Cat's community are coming together to make blueprints and, generally put together this park. Tinky is mostly on patching everything together with different types of themes and such, and everyone else has the privilege of being able to import their own blueprints, like I mentioned. And some of them are getting their own separate sections of the park to work with. And so we'll decide where to start. We've got a whole bunch of plots to look through. Perhaps one of the best ways to do so is to try out the coaster built by Board Builder, because it goes through the whole park and you can see exactly what it'll be like. So we're going to test this, see if it actually starts running, and it does. Cool. I'm really impressed with his coaster building skills. He's definitely advanced in terms of building coasters specifically. We can speed this up a little bit if I just press my button a couple times. That's fine. Beautifully smooth too. I think he's relatively got this to a place where he's happy with it too. So what this coaster does is explore a whole bunch of different plots, and you should be able to see it from most places on the map. It's got some beautiful heart lining going on. Should be very comfortable for guests. It's easy to tell what's going on through the whole place. You can see my build off to the left. We'll go over that too. And that's the end of the ride. There's quite a lot going on with this. It's hard to name all of the elements as they happen, but generally very excited to see where this coaster is going to go in the future, as far as the vistas that it's going to pass through. I know a whole bunch of people have been working on their coasters. Currently, there's one that Unlimited is currently streaming on Twitch, if you want to go check him out. I won't be able to, sadly, today, but I'm glad to see that he's working on something that's more realism-based. It looks pretty great. He's been using Cedar Fair as his inspiration. We'll get this closed and retested so you can experience this coaster done by another user. Still a work in progress for the scenery, but he's got the coaster mostly done. That was a really interesting element. Going into an inversion and then back out of it. I can tell Chris is still working on this. Specifically the track. But it's a really solid start and pretty relentless too. Super tight. Lots of speed. I, in particular, really like this set of supports. Let's see if I can catch the coaster coming through here. There it is. Look at that. Like, it comes in here really quick. I think he might still be smoothing out parts of it, but this is just a lovely piece of support. And that over twist that it does before it goes back the other direction, that felt great. This is my favorite section of the ride right here. And Chris, if you're watching this, I really, really enjoy all of the sections of the ride that go down into like water like this. It's perfect. It gets pretty close down to the ground. It does a little bit of a ravine run. The high-speed sections where you take wider turns feels like those are done exceptionally well. Good start. Can't wait to see what it looks like at the very end. This is the Sunflare that'll be decorated in the center. I don't think anybody has been assigned this. I think Tinky is going to put this together once the two coasters on either side are going to be done. Besides that, I'm going to save my thing for last. Unlimited! Thank you for the raid, sir! We're just now going over a couple things in Project Alliance. We were just talking about how you have this plot. How is it looking? Are you happy with how it's looking so far? I know you've got some photos out there online on the Discord that show some of what's going on there. If you guys aren't familiar with Unlimited, I seriously suggest that you go check out his channel. He is going to be participating in this park. It's very big. It is a huge plot, man. Sounds like you're making use of the space well. The plot, not your build. Oh, I got you. Yeah, the plot is massive. Yeah. No kidding. Thanks again for popping in. If you're just now joining us, Project Alliance is this park. It is a cooperation between a whole bunch of different users in Tinky Cat's Discord, and we're all putting together separate blueprints and putting them together here. Have a good one, Reggie. Thank you for stopping in. Your build is like half of it, so you're not doing too bad. Cool. Maybe we can split it up at some point, depending on what Tinky wants to do. Again, I have not seen what you're working on, so... Nice. All these people here are fake people. That's nice. Alright, let's come over here. This is, Spawn's place. He's got the Millstone here, which is a restaurant as far as I remember. And he's got some pool tables going on. They look pretty well detailed, actually. If only the 8 balls could be small enough. Maybe we can find some pieces like that that would work. We've got a very nice interior. Ooh, some fridges back behind. That's cool. There are tiny balls, yeah. You can take spheres and make them smaller. Just a little pip on the table. It's a nice little detail. I love the bar stools. Those are cute. What is this piece? I have to check this. Pool ring holder. Oh, it's upside down. That's so clever. Question is whether or not you want to animate the balls into a one-shot. Yeah, that would take a little bit. Very clever use of pieces. And this, in particular, means that it's hiding the piece count a little bit which helps with park performance. I like the little planters in the corners. Helps liven the place up a little. And pretty good use of glass too. I wouldn't have been able to tell, but glass is very strange in this game. If you overlayer a couple, then you can tell that there's a little tint in the middle. This is normal for builds. Oh. Am I dropping? I got disconnected from chat for a second. Whoopsie. Got plenty of umbrella tables outside to enjoy the nice weather, which is very cool. We've got a mushroom flat ride here for a chair swing, which looks great. Even the mushrooms on the outside are rotating a little bit. If you get too close, I guess you get to see a little behind the scenes magic. What wall is that? These look like sandstone. Yeah, they are. Sandstone has weird coloring textures. Some of them look better than others, and this is obviously one of the better ones. These doors are very pretty too. Right. There's a little something going on back here. But since there are no stalls here, I think I may wait on showing that on stream again. Because I've already been back there and it looks like it's undone, and it would be cool if I just left that for a future showcase. Did not know that you could recolor them. Yeah. They can be recolored. We've got some cool scenery going on in here. Very nice mood lighting before the ride. I seem to recall this is a ride best done when it's darker, so we'll set it to 6 a.m. We'll wrap around here before we check out what the coaster's doing. I believe if I just hop on the ride, I should be able to automatically test it without needing to open its menu. There it goes by. Look at it go. It does have custom lights on it, which is amazing. This is a very long queue. It's definitely getting us excited for the ride before we end up on it. Again, it's called Tilted. Beautiful lead-in. I think we're gonna get... Hold on. 1 second. We'll go front bumper. Spawn does a really good job of smoothing out his coasters. Let's see if we can get this to test properly. Come on. Sorry for the strobe lights. There we go. Kind of launches out of the station before going up the lift hill. Looks like a classic Aero type coaster. You can see we've got some lighting going up the lift hill. We love our fancy lights here. We're going straight into a drop track, which if you've been seeing my Flexi Park, you know that this gets a ton of speed very quickly if you go straight down into another section of track like this. It takes a minute for it to click back in place, but once it finally does, we're off to the races. Beautiful half roll. Get a nice little bit of airtime here. Into the iconic loop. At an angle, no less. Very interesting element. At this point, you can't even tell which way is up, which is perhaps the intended experience. The constant going in and out of the orange glowing cave or mountain really contrasts well with the lighting on the coaster. It's very easy to tell which section you're in. And we're here at the end of the ride. Very well done. For its current state, for sure. Like I have mentioned, everything on this park is a work in progress. This is a year-long project, and we are only a month in. So we've got a long way to go. Got a bit of a dark path out here to the exit, but you can see where you're going from some of the lights on the way. Looks like there's a staff path here too, headed back towards the entrance. So there are two separate entrances and exits for this ride, which is awesome. It seems we go back adjacent to the entrances, and we're back in the main area. Let's light this up a little more, so I can show off the rest. Really cool. Oh yeah, for sure. We're always really impressed with Spawn's work. Just over the hill, you can see this little thing, which you might already be familiar with. And sad to say, all of the unemployed people really like it here. It's because it has a staff building. So this is my Roman Overpower build. And I've got a restaurant that I'm building to match. So we can have a look here on the face of it. Maybe we can take a little bit of a stroll around. I put some of the stone guests in statues. Love using stone guests when I actually can. Not only are they a good idea for certain elements like this, but they're also very useful for putting stuff together to guest scale, which is really important. Here we have the entry. The ride is called Therma, which is based around Roman baths. That's the name that they had for it in Latin. We've got a little ride sign here that I retrofitted to make sense for this ride. This ride is very intense. Persons under the minimum height requirement will not be permitted to ride. It's very simple. You get to stand next to the arrow, measure your height, see if it's right for you. Coming inside here, we've got a couple holes in the wall where you can just barely see the ride. And this is walkable. This is technically the entrance queue. You can kind of see it's doing its thing. I have already covered this ride, so I'm just going to do a brief tour. We've got plenty of props around too. This is the Roman barracks. We've got some pieces together here. It looks like some of it broke when I was translating it over, so I'll have to do some work on that. These cylinders in particular look like they've been scaled up too high. But it's a really well-themed queue. You come around here and this is where you enter the ride. And then on the other side, where you exit, you've got a nice couple of paths to leave if you want to. Pleasant corridors out to the main path. Inside the watchtower is the restroom block. And I tried really hard to make sure that the lighting was subtle and not too overpowering. So any of the places that are green are backlit with green spotlights. And any of these statues have features on them. You also have something ominous in the corner. Who even is this for, you wonder? The world may never know. Even in the staff facility area, we've got some statues here too. And that just about rounds it out. It looks great from a broader perspective as well. Especially at night. If I darken this even more, you should be able to tell exactly where is lit. Right above here for the planters. And some of the top bits too. I decided to light up the gables as well, according to the types of pieces that I put here. One thing I will say though, anytime you're placing down rides like this, which have a reduced footprint for their paths, be very careful about where there's phantom light like this. Technically speaking, there are spotlights that come with every ride, but where I happened to put this was right where there was a spotlight for the ride itself, so that part wasn't very fun. So I had to fake it and make it look like the spotlights were there on purpose. Little bit of behind the scenes magic there. But you live and learn. I believe that is everything that has been placed in the park so far. More to come for sure. Like mentioned, Unlimited is working on a coaster, which supposedly is going to use up half of this plot. This is a massive area, by the way. So perhaps some theming will go a long way. We'll have to see how it gets split up in the end. That's it for this month's update. Hopefully I can do more in the future. And we'll definitely see more from all of these creators, I am sure. Except maybe Board. He's got some supports to work on, but besides this, he's pretty content with his coaster. These supports are looking amazing, by the way. This is how supports for this particular ride look in real life. They don't have footers yet, but they're on the way there.